Thanks, Andy. Okay, welcome to tonight's resources. First agenda item, we haven't got any bodies public session, have we? No, not even time. Apologies, we have a question from Schaefer. Yes, Councillor Schaefer. Okay, we're happy to accept. Thank you. Right, declarations of interest, anybody? Good. Minutes of the last meeting. Hopefully you've read them. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Right, budget to receive and agree budget reports 5.1. We've got the income and expenditure appendix A. And we'll go page 1. Page numbers in the corner anymore, is that? Okay. Right, so I'm looking at page 1 and the page number is kind of off centre to the right slightly.
I will apologise for that, Chair. Or I went on holiday and left me in charge.
Okay, so page 1, we happy?
Yeah.
Yep. And second page. Third page. Fourth. Fifth.
Because
One.
I'm not sure if we're onto this page yet or not, but it's the one where it says rates EMR used 4225, top of the page.
It's because I have to budget for the rates before I've got any idea what they're going to be. So we have a small pool of money in an EMR to help balance that out. And on this occasion, my guess was £312 out. So we moved 312 from the rates EMR.
Oh, right, I see. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Next page is heading Shanders Park toilets. And next page, it's got biodiversity audit at the top. And next page, it's got remembrance parade at the top. Next, it's got street markets income at the top. And then next page has just got expenditure, net income over expenditure figures. And then we've got the council earmark reserves. Page 1. Still on appendix A. Okay, I'll go straight onto appendix B. So page 2 appendix B. Next page. It's got paragraphs. It's the first 2. It's helpful. Next page. Covers what?
Number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4, yeah, this one thing.
Yeah.
It's got in there the large amounts of money we're spending on ground control, which is under 230251. Not any issue about the amount of money we're spending, just that this is for the new cemetery groundworks, and that money was what we've agreed, but just to say that it's ongoing, and that money that we've agreed to spend, I expect, looking to the town clerk at some point, there'll be an update report to the environment committee on how it's going, whatever, but just to say, I know that we spent some money, not surprised we spent some money, there's a lot of activity up there at the moment. See, they've even started putting the road in, so, but, you know, just, you know, it's a big amount of money, then what, you know, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, I will clarify, I mean, members will probably remember, we agreed a payment schedule, and what happens is the company that we've employed, our quantity surveyors, will inspect the quality of the work that's been done. They have regular site meetings, and once they're happy that the work that has been done is sufficient to release a payment, they will then tell me. And I've been probably authorised by full council at the point that the quantity surveyor says the work is quality, you then release the payment.
But it's through chair, it's just saying that you see it going out there, and I bet we'll see other figures like that in the forthcoming months.
It will be, we will spend that 1.1 million.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next page down is appendix C. And at the top it's got resources and personnel costs. First, again. And the second page at the top, it's got councillors, some as duties, etc.
I just clarify that appendix C is, we haven't, even though you've all looked at it, we haven't actually presented you with the finalised closed accounts from last year. So these are just literally to note the accounts from last year, so that there is an audit that they happen. We're obviously using the different styles for this year's, which is the ones you've already looked at.
Okay, next page, we've got admin reserve at the top and reserve. Robert.
Just for you, Chair, noting what the last tip. Are these to note these reports, because they're not just, we've already done the work in them. There's nothing to actually question, but it's historical. So if you're just noting that they're in there, because that's what happened, or not today, really.
I mean, if members want to ask the questions, please feel free, obviously, but yes, they are literally, this is all done, closed down and finalised now. This is just so that we've got the final one report somewhere for us to note that you've had it.
And this is, if we're asked by the auditor, the audit and see, and there's an audit.
We've got a minute.
We've got a minute number, an audit trail, correct? Haven't we?
Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
John.
I think I just wanted to commend the town clerk and her team, because on almost all the budgets, they've come in under the amount that we allow. So that strikes me as being good husbandry of our resources, and I want to say thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I still get a bit confused with what which of these rows are pluses and which of these rows are minuses. But I'll work that out in the end, don't worry.
You've got a few more years, Tom.
Okay. Well, I can't remember what page we're on, but roundabouts is the first on the top, the next page. Next page over is meadow toilets. And then next one is Bourne Park. Next is storage premises. And then the next one is environment equipment is at the top. Next one's got all of the figures down, John.
Are we the one with I lost track, shop mobility income?
That,
Can
yeah, we've passed that one.
I go back? Why are we not getting any income from the solar panels in Lace Hill?
Still.
Because they pay it in one lump sum and they don't pay it until after the close of the financial year.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Everyone. Okay, so the next page, we've got NI, TC and E and etc. functions and whatnot.
TC, yeah, be brilliant. Yeah.
And then special events is the heading of the next page. And then the final one is committee report at the top. Page 11. Okay. Thank you, Claire and team, for all your hard work on these. Right, okay, so we've got funds transfers next. To make the following 100k transfers to the CCLA account. Does anybody want to ask Claire anything?
I think it's appropriate just to say the verbal rationale beyond that. I don't think it's an issue, it's something that we would do, just what we're doing or whatever, so large amount of money.
We had the Public Works Loan Board come in for over £1 million plus on top of that. Large precept payments are half the precept and the rest of the precept is due this week, I believe. So that's a lot of money to sit in a current account not doing anything. So I've moved significant chunks as appropriate into the CCLA account so that we can make as much interest out of it as possible.
Claire?
Just thank the town clerk for her being on the ball with everything and keeping us the right way round with things.
Absolutely. Okay. Right, so item 6, we've got the quarterly banking reconciliations. Update. Probably that.
I can confirm that the Vice Chair of the committee signed them about 20 minutes ago.
Thank you, Howard. Much appreciated.
So yes, they've got been processed through it now. And thank you, Vice Chair.
It's own banking.
Yeah. Okay, item 7, the staff pay awards.
Noted.
Well then,
Not just to say that, we don't need to know them because at the event a week and we propose we put that forward to the precept or note them, is it there or is it just there to be noted? What is it there for?
Because it's for this year, so it's from the start of April. So it's for the accounts we've already got. It is nationally negotiated. But I thought it was worth committee
So
knowing that it's been
it's
agreed.
anyway, so there's nothing to do, that's just to make it sure of noting, anyone listening out, noting 3.25% and they need to make one.
3.2, and it's green book. It's the same as
Yeah.
everybody else that signs up to green book T's and C's, but the committee needed to know what it was.
That's fine.
Thank you.
thank you. Item 8, refund of grant monies, and this is in relation to your Western Association Appendix D. Hope people read the letter.
Just saying through you, Chair, I mean, having worked with the directly in different times over the period that the Residents Association and ASL have been an organisation, I must say that what they did cannot be unnoted for their community. They helped work tirelessly to get many things secured from internet, to working on getting areas of land recovered and work done there. They worked with myself historically on finally getting the roads adopted after 10 years, which seems a long time, but they were very good. So what I'm saying is that at some point we need to actually propose at some point we recognise that work, because community work and what they did for their community was but sometimes it was quite difficult when you're dealing with the developer, you're dealing with the management company and whatever, and I think they've been extremely successful, and to a person they've been nothing more than good community stewards for their part of the town. So when we accept this money back, I think would I like to propose that we, through yourself, the mayor and the town clerk, that we write something along them lines to them, because I think it's only appropriate.
I'm thinking the same thing, probably.
Yeah, because having worked with them successfully since the estate was first conceived, and I think one of the biggest successes we all had with them was when we managed to correct a wrong and get the disability axes in off the London Road and Cotton End. And that was a major thing. I think John was the mayor at the time when we put that in. So they were stewards for their own community, and I think it's only has to be said.
I don't think I need to be involved in that. I think a letter from the mayor or Claire would be a nice thing. So I'll leave it up to. Can I take John and then Martin first? I'll come back to Fran. John?
Yeah, I obviously read the note for the meeting. A couple of thoughts to Claire. One is there's a bit of me that's sad that a local resident association has not held together, because I believe in residents associations.
Yeah.
Because it's a good way of building the community, bringing people together, yada yada yada. But then on the flip side of that is that maybe the reason why they have managed to kind of maintain momentum beyond their initial work that Robin's just been highlighting, which was very good, is because as a town council and through the community centre in Lace Hill, we're doing okay. They feel represented, they feel as if they can influence what happens on their estate through us and through the Shire Council too, in some ways for sure. So I would, in the end, I would take from this a positive thing rather than a negative thing. It shows that if they felt the need to carry on, then that shows in some ways that we'd be missing the trick here somewhere. So I think they effectively decided that there is no entertainment because Lace Hill Community does a good job for the local residents. I'd be interested to see what happens with the other resident associations, like on, St Rumbold's. I don't think there's anything on any of the other estates. There's nothing on page here. There's nothing in Linden.
No.
So I think that means that we're doing okay.
Yeah.
But I think when we write back and with the words that Robin's been suggesting, and I think that's a really important thing to do, we might ask them just for any appraisal they might have about us as a town council and the community centre, see if they can give us any feedback that we would find helpful, useful, developmental, and so on.
Okay, thank you. Martin?
Yeah, what they've done is all fine and dandy, and some good stuff. It's now going over to a management committee, so I understand why they don't want to hand over the money to them, and they're handing it back to the people that have given it to them. I would like to propose that we ring fence the money and hold it for community events that they hold at Lace Hill. So they are able, as not a confirmed group of people, but why can't we hold it so that if there is a community event they want to come together, some display of community things, I don't know, road closures or whatever else may happen, that they have, in this case, whatever the amount is here in the letter, available, say, for the next 5 years, and then we can disband it if it's not used.
Okay, interesting thought. Right, Fran and then John.
I was going to say that if we can write to them, we should thank them for being so prompt in their wishing to give us the money back now. There's many organisations and groups that would sit around and hang on to monies like that. I think they're being very upfront about it. I like Martin's idea. So if that's a proposal, Martin, I'd like to say
it is a proposal, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to clarify, so you want to ring fence the money? I mean, you can't set an earmark reserve in this meeting for 5 years' time, but you can say you want to ring fence the money and use it for a project up at Lace Hill.
Yeah. Community project. Community project.
Right, John and then Ruth.
Just to clarify with the town clerk, can we do that if that's not on the agenda? I agree with what Martin's proposing about the secondary, but can we do that if it's not on the agenda? And the agenda item simply says to receive this, not even to respond to it. So if we're strictly following our standing orders, we can't even agree to write a letter in response to this because of the way in which the agenda item is phrased. And I don't think that I'd take advice from the town clerk that we can agree to create an EMR for the purpose, or be it one a very good idea?
We have, I think they have already paid us back, so it was for you to note that they've had it. If you want to give me instructions to where you want me to store it, I think that was within the spirit of the agenda item. In regards to writing to them, I was going to write to them and say thank you anyway, so, and as nobody had formally proposed that, I was going to suggest that that's just something that would be the automatic
yeah.
niceties of how we operate.
Well,
If it comes to what councillor Stutchbury was suggesting,
try.
about, no, councillor
yeah.
Stutchbury earlier suggested, about recognition, etc., that would be for another meeting, which I think you all know what I'm talking about, and would be for members to propose and deal with as per our standing orders. But if you want to tell me which budget line, or to create a budget line to receive the money into, I think that is well within what the letter has suggested.
Okay. All right, Ruth and Robin.
I'm against holding that money aside. It's £600. We've given them grants over the years. That and we've held a number of events up there, and they've been good enough to have that money left and send it back to us. So, you know, that has therefore ended. So I don't think that we should hold it aside.
Okay, thank you. Robin?
Just clarity about their purpose. Their primary purpose was to get their own trustees and that involved in taking over the management company. And now they've got their own appointed thing. That was their project. It just took so many years for them to get to be where they are with trustees and operate them. There's a lesson learned there. And I parodying a little bit about what we've all discussed about management companies in housing estates, how difficult they are for residents. Now that means that they now have some autonomy over their own personal futures to do who they want to cut their grass, who they employ and who they manage it, because they've got a legal entity now. And I think that's a major achievement. The money in itself has been handed back to us. I'm not against necessarily keeping it, but it is, if it was going to go somewhere, it needs to sit in the Lacehall end of the accounts, I would suggest, which we do community events in there anyway, and we run community events in Lacehall and we have to budget for them, and they are organised various, and that's the community benefit out of those community events. So and it would mean that we could defer sending other monies on there. So there is some value in putting it in there, but not by ring fencing it, but finding an account number within the Lacehall Community Centre account number, so that it could be placed in there. It would mean there was some seed money there to do these things that make the community up there different, in the sense that it was very many years ago where we had a big fight to even take over that land. I remember people being against it once, and then they changed their minds. So that's where I would suggest it again. I recognise Bruce's point about it's £600.
I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think maybe I've been a little unclear. We will have to create a new budget line. We can't put it into another. We can't put it into an expenditure budget line. We have to come into a new budget line. We'll have to make a new one because it's income. You can't go into an expenditure.
Taking John's point about, and your point that we can't write a letter to seeding meeting, maybe we can't make that decision tonight either. So
Should be good.
It's going to come into an income line.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to create a new income line because we don't really have an appropriate income line for it. So I can't put it into Lacehall events because that's an expenditure line. So that's not how that works. So it'll have to be income. But what you're telling me is you don't want me to spend. If you're telling me you want it to come into an income line that says something along the lines of Lacehall refund, which probably is what Julie has already done, and to hold on to that and not spend it on anything. But I can't spend it because it's income. I'm not making myself clear. From an accounting point of view, it'll have to go into an income line. But what you're telling me is you want to spend it, or your motion is that you want to spend it at community event at Lacehall.
Yeah. well, all support, anything. I just
Doesn't make that really complicated.
yeah, I just I am confused here because we can make a budget line change because it's mentioned in the figures, but we can't say thank you. This seems totally.
But no, we haven't said that.
No, but we've got to wait for another meeting to say thank you.
Yeah, this is.
No.
I can reassure members that I will be rising to say thank
That's
you,
that.
because I mean, I was going to do that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
We are a well-managed council.
Yeah,
Chair.
I've got Howard first, and then I've got John, and I've got you.
Thank you.
Okay, Howard.
I think town clerk makes it quite clear, the agenda item specifically to receive a letter. The money was spent in order for them to pay for the admin costs of setting up the association. Therefore, when the money is returned, as I said, probably in a week's time, should come within the income of Buckingham Town Council. What we decide to do with it then is up to us.
John?
Yeah.
I was going to suggest there's the Lacehill events income line, 1028, could it not go in there?
So that's events income.
This is an event.
Right.
No,
It's an event that the regional local associations close, that's an event.
we mean events that somebody returns the money to us.
It's a thing that's happening, no, it's not an event.
I mean, even if I did, it wouldn't change things because it's still an income line, so we still can't spend it.
See, right.
Yeah, Jane?
I can say, the word gracious, I think, is hovering around the table. I think from what Ruth is saying, that the idea that we somehow say, well, I'm going to keep it for you in about. If you are writing a letter of thanks, I'm sure you'll make it clear that we are very pleased and thank them for all they've done, etc., etc. And I think so, not somehow say rebuff. Oh no, you can have your money back or anything like that. It's a graciousness that we're trying to express here, which I'm sure the clerk will be well able to do.
Yeah, my intention is that I would not do anything out of you. I'm just remembers that you don't need to put a motion to a further meeting to instruct me to write a letter. I was going to write a letter anyway, and I will write a gracious and polite letter. Should any further recognition be something members wish for, then there are appropriate meetings to have those conversations.
Martin?
So I will remove my motion.
Okay, thank you.
And if necessary, it will be put on a future agenda of a committee that is more appropriate.
Thank you.
Graciously done.
You're very gracious.
Well, it's good old discussion, that I think. Okay, right, item 9, GDPR compliance is now audited. Happy to receive a report from Steve. Have you all read it?
Marvellous.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Any questions for Steve?
No, I
You can't tell us anyway.
With the rule and not study it.
Yeah, of course. I would like to say a few words on it, please.
It might not seem important, and it's just sort of admin niceties, but we take great pride in our good governance, and it is important. The fact that it is now part of the audit process does make it. I mean, we have very good robust policies anyway, but it does mean that we need to be ultra careful that what we're doing is completely compliant. So I know sometimes it can feel as though we're being pedantic when we say no, for GDPR reasons we need to do this because we're the data controller. We don't make the rules, but these are the ones that we have to operate by, and it is taken very seriously. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was a report came out. What day was it? To say that it was done, basically the other day. There was a last line on it, or maybe that was on in the. I saw it somewhere. Last line on it, which says, here we go. Found it. One aspect is to evidence that appropriate training has taken place and this is currently being sourced. For members, it's particularly important that town council business is only conducted using their town councillor email address. Now, that to me could be read in two ways. It is particularly important that town council business is only conducted using their town, meaning that you can't use another email address. or it could be read that only town council business can be conducted using the town council email address. Does that make sense?
I would suggest that both things are correct. That we shouldn't be doing anything that's not council business over our email addresses, but also members, as indeed officers, and we talk about it in the office for our own sake, which is what's not mentioned there. That if members are conducting council business, then it should be done on the town council email address, not on their personal one, not on the work one, not on their county council one if they're a councillor, a county councillor. Because we are data controller, and we can only control the data that's on our town council email addresses.
Okay, Martin?
Yeah, I was doing something else outside of town council business, but I got onto a particular area which was allocated to me, and I could view the information, but it also allowed me to download. But interestingly, it said, if you download this information, it is your responsibility to uphold the confidentiality of the information. You may be downloading it onto a laptop or something else, whatever, and it's your then responsibility to keep that confidential.
Yeah.
Because it then comes out of the controlled environment.
It's true.
Yeah.
Robin?
Well, one of the things we could consider, taking what Martin said, is some people have a secure area where you download information. So if you feel that the information you're downloading is still safe on your email and you're not convinced that that's secure enough within the council, there are other methods where it goes to another part of the council. Can be created an app where confidential stuff can go in and you can log into it and it stays confidential in that app. We've got other places where that happens. So, and then that's still within the council control. So, well, we're big enough to want to think about doing that in the future. I don't know, but
They've put it on OneDrive, aren't they?
Yeah, but
Documents.
I find the town council email sometimes a bit jumpy, a bit glitchy, a bit slow to load. It might be me, but so I just wonder whether Martin made the point. I don't want to recommend we do anything. It's something that we should consider. If that's something I could give Steve an idea what I'm talking about and show him, and then see whether it's something we need to consider in the future, because we are going to be we're going to keep growing in the next 5 or 10 years, and there'll come a point where we might need to do something like that. But that means members can get access to it and see it, but it still remains within the council's internet, so to speak. Because at the moment, when we load stuff up, you can press it up, it loads up, and I presume it's loaded up on the own website, the email. But we are operating through that to our own devices, not council devices. So they haven't got that overall control in them.
Yeah, so your own iPad, your own
I mean,
MacBook.
so I think it's something we need to discuss, maybe in the future, whether especially you look, we're doing £1 million project now. We've never done £1 million project before. Could be in the future we do a lot more projects like that, and at that point we might get to a point where we need to consider doing things like that. But I don't think we're there now. But there's nothing worth looking. Martin made a good point. If you can download it to somewhere where it's still within the responsibility of the council, that's something. If it says you've got to load it up on your own,
It's difficult because unless you say that you can't download it to your own device, you can only read it, but I think it'd be a difficult one.
I mean, provided you're keeping your data within your town council email, I'm not sure,
no.
and your devices.
I'm probably not explaining myself very well. I'll have a word with Chris.
There's a you can get the opportunity to download stuff to the cloud for the town council via your
It's all
email
there.
as well. It's all there already to
Got
do
OneDrive.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
OneDrive.
I'm just downloading lots of confidential data and.
No, but when we open confidential
Mhm.
things, they don't open in the same way as
No.
They're attached to an email,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not, they don't have a link to go and get
Yeah.
them, right? It's, yeah, what I mean.
Okay.
John?
I think this discussion only serves to highlight, we need some more training on this. And training perhaps with an ability to come, if we have the training around this table with a sufficiently adept trainer who knows his or her stuff, then it may be that out of that training will come some suggestions for how we need to move forward with our technology and with our practice. So I'm hoping that once Steve's sourced the appropriate training, it won't just be for the office staff, it'll be for us too. And I think we all, I think it is that important.
Yeah. I mean, does everybody know that you have access to Microsoft, like Word and Excel and one? Yeah, you do, okay. Cool. Might be something I need to show you as well, Ben.
Well,
And Copilot too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fran?
presumably though, with this GDPR section or whatever else, the same applies with the email. That you should only be using the town council one for town council business and not for personal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And it says in 2.5.
I think it's always been.
Yeah, that's what.
Not your answers or
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
taking into account.
This process is quite normal. And all parish councils have been advised that they should only use council addresses. And it also comes back to the fact of who actually owns the copyright on the emails. Because when you cease being a councillor, all those emails are deleted in 3 days. So you lose everything, which I could have done going back 12 years. That's one of the reasons for doing it. You are actually using somebody else's system that owns it.
Presumably, Howard, you haven't downloaded all of the councillor stuff that you'd got for 12 years onto your own personal
I do have a
drive or anything,
of everything done over 14 years.
which could be a GDPR issue.
It's not just the email,
Yeah,
it's attachments.
Can I suggest this conversation?
Yeah.
Related to Buckinghamshire Council.
There's a separate arrangement.
Yeah. Okay, good chat. Oh, sorry, Heather.
Just a question really, how much do you have to do as council to deal with GDPR issues? Do you get a lot of subject access requests or requests to be deleted or whatever the various things are that people could come in and generate a load of work? But I just wondered where do you get that?
We do get some. I think a lot of this is around making sure we've got robust policies in place as to where our data goes, who's storing and where it's being shared. And I do think you are correct when Steve says it's talking about training. It's for all of us members as well, because we all need to know what we should and shouldn't be doing with data. And it's not. I would say that whilst this piece is all about GDPR, there are a lot of conversation. I'm not going into too much detail, but talking about tidying up our cyber security as well, which is also a huge, great big thing. And it is possible that some changes may have to happen just to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah.
But that's for another meeting.
Yeah.
I'll just say there's a lot of fear put into the situation about GDPR, but I don't know anybody's actually been prosecuted.
Of the Making Commission is quite
There might be pressure for prosecution.
Maybe we should just move on.
Okay, good discussion again. Right, item 10, local council award scheme. Got a report from Steve. And we got an email from Martin on this one. Has everybody read it? Yeah. Can I say thank you, Martin, for your email?
I use my councillor email.
You're very good. You're very good.
Well done.
Yeah.
You're a star.
But yeah, thank you for what you sent through your email as well. So, any discussions on this? The floor, Robin?
Just through you, Chair, well, this is something perhaps we should be holding. Other people are involved in it. The sad thing about awards is when people receive them, other people question why they got them, and other people question why they're not got one. But I think that maybe this is something we should consider, because other people around the whole of Buckinghamshire, and I'm sure in Northamptonshire, and
That's what's on the agenda.
I was again, I think it's thank you for. I read something about that the other day, and I didn't think it's something that perhaps we should consider being part of, and it doesn't seem too huge of cost to do it, and we would be part of being able to, if we chose to recommend he, she, or they, we could do so.
It's not a personal thing, it's a council thing.
Yeah.
So we could just the council.
It's a council thing, it's not a personal thing.
I think we could recommend ourselves.
No, you can't.
Howard and then Martin.
The problem is it's not doing it when you stop doing it. Because people don't think, oh, why haven't they got an award this year? And that's the other thing to bear in mind. And Martin, I think, recommended a bronze award. It's the highest I'd go to, but it's a lot of extra work. Do we really want to do it? And what will we gain from it, really?
I'd like to ask the town clerk and the compliance and projects manager where they feel we currently stand within the criteria for the different awards. Because if we're already at bronze level or at silver level, then how much more work would it take to get up to the next level?
Steve?
Well, I have commented on this in the report to say that whilst Martin's done some excellent work to do some initial research, it's very difficult to know exactly where you are until you dig into what is the exact question we're being asked, and are we there? We may have a number of links that we can provide to evidence of certain web pages or policies or so on. But we need to review all those policies. We need to make sure, I think it was Martin's comment some meetings ago, that we need renewal dates and so forth on them, which is a project in hand. But without actually delving into the process itself, if you're going to do it, you might as well just do it. I really cannot say how we are against it until I know what the questions are, read what the questions are, and actually compare to where we are. And that is a substantial piece of work.
Yeah. All right. John, and then Robin, then Andy, then Martin. John.
I mean, I think the recommendation is simply to create a preset line, not necessarily go for the award. I think the thing as you've just indicated, there's a bit more preparatory work to be done by officers, pouring over saying, for us to get to this point of submitting an application for a bronze or silver award, it will require this amount of effort. And at that point, we need to make a decision as to whether we do that effort or not. And I think we're a stage away from that. We're simply saying we need to create a preset line, because without the preset line, we can't do it at all. We can't spend money. So that's, for me, that's what the recommendation is. Do we want to give ourselves the opportunity to go for this or not? Not that we will, but the opportunity to make that decision down the track. Secondly, I'd like to say, how did we all feel when we came very close to being Best Kept Village in Buckinghamshire? We thought that was great. And we got an award and made a bit of it. We would do about it, had stuff social media, press release and so on. For me, it's a similar thing. I'm not saying we should go for every award out there, Star Council, everything else like that. But I think for me, this is quite important, because this is about communication for how we relate and how we connect with the people that we serve. And therefore, I think if we can evidence that we're doing a good job on that, then people might feel, oh yeah, they're a good council, they do good stuff, oh, and they've got an award for doing good stuff as well. And I think on that basis, I think it is worth, in the end, going for it. But like I say, the recommendation this evening is really only for creating a precept law, as I understand it.
But what do you think for the underpaid got social works?
Yeah, I possibly messed up a little bit here. That recommendation for clarity should say, therefore recommend the precept meeting to create a precept line, because obviously the precept meeting has the final say on what the precept looks like. So, sorry, that's a damn thing, but nevertheless.
So we can't do that bit tonight.
We could amend the recommendation.
Proposing a recommendation along the line of what sounds like just says.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll second that.
Right, so it was Robin, Angela, Martin.
Just to say that I remember many years ago, when Christine Strange Clark was there, a lot of work and getting us to get quality council standard. And there was a lot of discussion on whether we should bother doing it with quality council standard. And at the time we could get, it meant we could get money. The great thing about it was, from my point of view, for Christine Strange Clark spent 2 years getting it all through, and I ended up being there after and got the award, which I thought was most unfair, really, because all I'd ended up doing was putting on somebody else's road who'd driven it through council. But that's how it works when you're mayor of Buckingham or whatever. It's pretty work, but I just felt guilty at the time that I got it at to collect the award or whatever it was. But I do think whoever it is, she or he, it's a good thing to do. And I think if we make the decision to do this in now or in 2 years or 3 years' time, I'm sure Buckingham Town Council will come out compared to others quite well, I think. So, and I look forward to whoever the person is actually going to collect in the gold award for us.
We need to worry about that bit.
I always optimistic.
Go for it in the future. Right, Angie and then Martin.
Okay, thank you. I was just looking at 2.5. The award is for prestige only. There's no practical benefit other than evidence of compliance. And does it? Who is going to check on our best practice? And we are paying for the privilege of we're going for the next one. Silver was £100. So you're really buying an award.
Is it another thing?
No, there's a fee each time you renew, and I think it's every 3 years off the top of my head.
Okay. Martin. Sorry, Andy.
Yes, so I don't know whether there's a benefit. There's a lot of work involved in this, and I can't see any benefits in the end with all the work and the time that the staff is going to put into this, that they'll make any difference. Because we are our best practice anyway. It's those who want to find out about Buckingham Town Council. But who does? Does anybody want to find out how we do things? We know what we do. We are good at it.
Okay, Martin.
Yes, it is just prestige. It is just to let other people know and to maybe equate, not that you would ever want to do that, equate one council with another, because you're just in one council area and not the other. So who cares what the others are doing, really, from a member of the public point of view. But I would like to see that we got it. I think in the past, the reason that we set up the newsletter was to fulfill one of these statuses, silver or gold, not bronze. I don't think you need it for that, but I think it was gold, so that we could get to that gold status. And from what I've seen and the work that Steve and the office have done, for our own best practices, we are, for instance, to have a review date on the policies and papers that we've got out there. That's just going to happen because we need it to happen anyway. So I think we could easily jump through the bronze hoop, and with not a lot of work, and I'm happy to do a lot more of the background work and putting the answers in here. And as I said, I didn't take it any further because of what the office was up to, and things were changing at the time. You know, update them and put together bits and bobs for the silver. I think silver is attainable for us. It's only £20 more in the cost of things. And if we, put the money in the precept for 26, 27, that gives us all the way round to there to mess about with it and see whether we can hit the silver or just drop back down to gold, to bronze. So that would be the way I'd like to play it.
Thank you for offering to do some legwork.
Well, it's mouse click work, really. Just to finish, the reason I don't think we should go for gold is that there is a bit more writing. It's not necessary mouse clicks. It's wordy stuff that this is what the council will do, and it would need Claire and the office to put some wordy stuff behind that, and then you would have to update it all the time, maybe. But with the other two, it's basically links to the information we have already.
Okay, thank you. Right, I've got Jane and Fran. Oh, sorry, Ruth. So Ruth, Jane and Fran.
I feel pretty confident that we do always comply with best practice through the work of our officers, and we do things properly. So I'd feel quite confident about going for gold. And I don't think it would be much extra work than silver. So I know we don't need to make that decision now because we're just talking about, recommendation to put a line in precept. But I do have confidence in this council and the way that it's run. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jane and Fran.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just crossed out gracious and I'm now writing competitive. I mean, this is something I would love. But no, having said all that, though, I mean, in the Citizens Advice Bureau world, we have to do this. There's a reason we have to do it. I lose my brand, I lose the whole shebang. So I think if I don't pass something called a leadership self-assessment, we'll get rather, it's scary. It really is.
Yeah.
I don't know whether, I'd love to hear more of a sense from the team to, it's a lot more pressure on them to do this. If it turns out it is fairly click. But I'd like to get a sense that it'd be really worth it for us to do it. I can't see it myself. I mean, as I say, I love being in a competition and winning, for God's sake. So I'm with, let's go gold. But I'm just slightly worried that it's a bit of an empty competition, this one. It's you pay your money and you get the awards thing. I'm not quite convinced of the value of this competition. I think we are very good. We're a good council, and what I heard tonight, we are a very good council. Just slightly worried. I'd like to get a sense. So I'm happy to dip toes into the water, sort of thing, but I'm not absolutely convinced.
In order, an answer to that, I mean, the main, we have an audit, we have 2 internal audits and an external audit a year. So that, from that point of view, that's where, when you're saying about we must pass our standard, that for me is the standard that we must pass. This is a nice to have. I mean, Steve sums it up, the attainment of the award is for prestige. There is, it's just a nice thing to say you've got the gold award and put it on the bottom of your note paper. It is not, well, I think we probably do almost, it's Steve's report, so I'm talking for him. I'm sure we do most of the stuff. There is quite certainly at gold level, a significant amount of evidencing that we do it, which isn't necessarily the same as doing it. It's a big form.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I think there is practical benefit to it. I think it increases staff morale. I think it makes, if there is a case for whatever reason, hopefully not for quite a while now, that we're recruiting. The fact that we've got that standard, I think that makes us a far more attractive. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's my brain freezes and I forget words and it's very annoying. Yeah, it's a more attractive proposition for potential employees. And we're doing it anyway. We should be doing it anyway. Why not get the gold star or the silver star? Let's not bother about the bronze star because
Who wants to come?
we can do silver and we should be able to do gold, but maybe we need to go for silver first and then see how we go and work towards gold afterwards. But I think that we've had a long conversation now around all this and I think we should move to the vote.
John, you wanted to come back on something?
No, I'll take on what Fran's saying, let's go to the vote. We're gonna vote on the amendment first, of course, and then.
Yeah,
So, right, so what is the amendment then?
Shall I read it out? As I understand it from. It recommended that members consider whether to pursue a local council award and therefore recommend to the precept meeting to create a precept line for the financial year 2026 to 2027.
Okay, and that's proposed by John and seconded by Fran. Okay, those in favour, please show. Okay, those against? Abstaining? 1, thank you. Okay, so do we have to vote on the actual recommendation now? Okay, so those in favour of the recommendation.
Who proposed and seconded?
Oh, who proposed that one?
thank you.
So this is the recommendation as amended.
Right,
Yeah.
so if you propose it, I'll second it. Yeah, okay. Right, those in favour? Okay,
I'll go for it.
thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Those against? Abstentions? 1, thank you.
We can do
Yeah,
this discussion again another night then.
And do take Martin off on his up for as well.
Yeah.
I'll send you an action plan. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Will you now?
Make sure you use this town council.
Yeah.
You haven't tried, have you? Right, okay, right, so item 11, update from representatives on the outside bodies. Got anything to update? No? Okay, thank you. Item 12, action report. Appendix A. Any discussions? No? Robin?
Just, annual, Steve, thank you, Steve.
Yes, Steve.
Just, annual community grants, I know that lots to be done. But we sometimes had people come along long after the application date. And it's been embarrassing for everyone. I know that will just happen, that we make sure that we advertise the grants are going out soon. I know it would.
Working group, not,
Yeah,
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 okay. That can be, if you're on a working group, then you can mention that in the working group.
yeah.
Okay. John?
It is in the forthcoming newsletter.
Thank you, John.
Notice, it is going out.
Thank you, that's what I wanted to hear.
Officers will be broadcasting it too.
Yeah.
And people who regularly put in stuff will, if they've got any doubts, will have diaried it anyway.
Yeah,
So they know where to get that thing in.
thank you. Okay, I don't have any announcements. Date of next meeting is 20th of October. Okay, right, we're happy to close this meeting and move it into private session. Yeah, agree.